Welcome everyone. In this chapter, we will see Tmux Introduction. Tmux is a terminal multiplexer, which is a Linux application that allows multitasking in a terminal window, and this tool is based around sessions. Tmux lets you leave a terminal in the middle of process and we can return to it seamlessly. For example, if you are running a Python server and MySQL console and in the middle of workflow you have to switch to different project, then instead of stopping the Python server and killing its process, you can keep it aside with tmux in a running state and then switch to the new project. In Tmux, we will be working with session, windows, and pane. Let's see what are those. Session basically defines a general task in Tmux. For example, if you are testing something, okay, or you are doing programming, then you stick to a single session for all activities. Windows are for specific activities or project within a session. For example, you are working on a project and you open the project folder in a window. Then, to view different files of the project, you can use panes. That's the overview of session, windows, and pane. In Tmux, each pane will contain its own independently running terminal instance. This allows you to have multiple terminal commands and application running visually next to each other. Since Tmux doesn't come with Ubuntu pre-installed, we have to install this application. To install it, use sudo apt install tmux. Let's install tmux. Here you can see I am installing tmux. Now to verify whether tmux is installed or not, run tmux capital V. And you can see we have 3.2.8. Now let's go through some of the important concept. So tmux has session. To create the session, we can just run tmux. In this way, it will start a new session, new window, and a shell in that window. Tmux, and here you can see we are in the Tmux. On the bottom right, we have host name, then time and date, and on the left we have a session name, which is by default numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3. Now to exit from the Tmux session, we can use exit. The named session, by default the Tmux session are numbered, but we can give the name to a Tmux session like Tmux new -s and then session name. For example, let me start with okay, let me start with MySQL. Okay, and then when I do, you can see I have a name MySQL here, and now here I can run MySQL related operations. Now there is something called as detach session. I can get out of this current tmux session and run it in background using Control B. Now here I press Control B and then D. You can see my session containing MySQL is running background, and I can basically check that session. Now let me create another session. Front end, okay, and here and I just Control B and then D, detach, and you can see I have front end session and then MySQL session. To attach a session, since these are all detached, I can use tmux and then attach minus t and then session name like front end. Okay. Here you can see I'm in the front end session and I can work on front end related stuff. Control B D, and to kill the session I can use streamer kill session and then session name. For example, I want to kill the MySQL session, and here I do tmux ls, I can only get the front end session. To toggle between the sessions, you can use Control B and then left and right common bracket. You can also give the window name in the tmux session like this. Now let's see few of the tmux commands. For example, tmux ls and then Tmux attach -t front end. Okay, I am in the front end session. Now to create a new window, I can do Control B C. Control B C. You can see I am here. You can see 0 is the window name and 1 is window name here. Okay, and to rename the current window, I can use Control B and then this, Control B and then this. I'm instead of bash, let me use editor. Okay, here you can see I just rename the window. Now let's see some commands related to Tmux pane. To split the current pane into two horizontal pane, we can use Control B and then double quote. Let's see, Control B and then double quote. Here you can see, and then I can work differently. Okay, for example, I have like Vim demo. Okay, I can open here. Now to switch to different panes, I can use Control B up. Okay, and here Vim demo.txt. Okay, you can see how this Tmux is more efficient than Vim different splitting screens, right? Okay, and now if I exit from this window, okay, then I can get into one screen. And now to basically split this pane into vertical, I can do Control B and then percentage, and this way we can split the pane into vertically. Now let's open another pane horizontally, Control B and then double quote. Here you can see, I can now work on 3 different files in the same project. And to also resize this pane, I can use Control B and then okay, and then I'm pressing, resizing. Still my control is pressed. Okay, you need to do like this. And to close the current pane, we can use Control B X. So let's see, Control B and X to kill the current pane, and that's it. So that's all in this chapter. Thanks for watching. In the next module, we will see how to manage user and groups in Linux. See you in the next module.